If you're like me, you've probably been asked, well, what are you going to do with that major after you graduate? And the answer usually is, I don't know, Karen. No, but seriously, you really need to know the answer to this question. So in this video, we're going to be going over the top 10 careers for statistics majors, and we're going to be ranking them on a tier list. So let's get into it. So the first job up is going to be a market researcher, coming in at an average salary of around $62,000. So what a market researcher does is they take data from a marketing agency or the marketing team at their company, and they're projecting sales into the future and revenues into the future. They're trying to figure out whether a new product or service is going to be successful in their industry, look how it is in competitors' industries. But a lot about what you're going to be doing is dealing with data, and this definitely comes up in a statistics degree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this one off right in the middle of the road at a good career, just based on the salary being a little bit lower than some of these other careers, but it's still a great career to get into. So the second one up is going to be a financial analyst, and these come in with an average salary of around $67,000 per year. So what a financial analyst does is they might assist an individual or a business that they work for about what investments mean for them. What I mean by this is they're going to analyze data and trends in stock prices, things like that, or even ETFs. But they're going to use their statistical knowledge and their analyst background to project these into the future and tell that what that means for the individual or the business, whether or not there's a certain amount of risk, how much money they can expect to make, and whether or not that this is going to be the right investment for them. So as I alluded to, it's going to use a lot of statistics knowledge, but it's also going to require a lot of financial knowledge as well. So this one might be better suited for somebody who has a little bit more background in economics and finance than just in statistics. Though I do still think it's a great career if that's something you're interested in. So the next career is going to be a cost estimator, and they're coming in at an average salary of around $72,000. But what they do is they factor in all the data of a new project and they estimate how much that's going to cost the company or the individual or whoever they're working for. They often factor in things like time and labor and whatever they need to complete the project in their cost estimates. So it's going to use a lot of statistical analysis and math. However, I don't think this directly aligns with somebody who's in statistics, but it's definitely an option for somebody who majored in statistics. So ultimately, a cost estimator is very important for companies. However, I don't think it directly aligns with statistics. So for that reason alone, I'm going to place it in the okay category. The next career we're going to be looking at is a business analyst, coming in at an average salary of around $75,000 per year. So what a business analyst does is they take in data from the company or individual that they're working for. They're projecting these trends into the future and maybe ultimately looking at financial statements to figure out whether a business is operating in an area that they should be, or whether they should be exploring new opportunities, or whether they should double down on their existing opportunities. While a business analyst may very closely resemble a data scientist, it's not exactly the same. They're going to be more so looking at past data and figuring out whether or not things are working or not. And then they're ultimately going to give presentations to stakeholders and managers about their findings and what this means for the company. And I think a business analyst is a great career. So the next career is going to be a statistician. Now, this is what most people think about when they think about statistics, but they're coming in at an average salary of around $82,000 per year. And what they're going to be doing is using their knowledge of statistics and mathematics to fit models to different problems that a business or an institution might have. Now, this is a very broad topic, so you can be a statistician at a university, you can be a statistician for the government, or even a sports team. And depending on the industry you're in, it's going to depend on what your work actually does. But ultimately, you're probably going to be doing surveys or experiments and trying to find trends in people's buying habits or players' habits or habits of a company, and trying to fit models to these to try to predict things into the future. Well, being a statistician is a great career. It's probably going to require a little bit further education than just an undergrad degree. So for that reason alone, I'm going to place statistics in good. However, it can be a great career if you get into an industry that you're really interested in. The next career is going to be a database administrator, coming in at an average salary of around $92,000 per year. Now, what a database administrator does is they're responsible for storing data within an organization. And they're going to require a high level of knowledge in something like SQL so that they can query data sets into formats that are actually usable by the business. Ultimately, they're interested in making sure that a company's data is secure and that all their databases run correctly. So while being a database administrator is a great career, it definitely seems like something that is more aligned with IT. However, there is some statistical elements such as SQL that come into it. So just for that reason alone, I'm going to put it in okay. However, if you're in IT and statistics double major, something like that, I think this is a great career and it's a great paying career as well. So the next career is going to be an economist, coming in at an average salary of around $94,000 per year. So what an economist does is they're working with data and using statistical methods to analyze trends in economics, whether it be for a company, a country, for a government. While this takes in statistical elements, being an economist is more than just that. You need to understand economical trends and finances. And so this is definitely going to be something that you're going to be need some knowledge in those areas. And it's also going to require a advanced degree probably in economics or finance. So for that reason alone, I'm going to put economist and better suited for somebody else. So the next career might come as a surprise to be on this list, but that's a software engineer coming in at an average salary of around $105,000 per year. So what a software engineer does is they're often developing apps or websites or programs for a company, but they might apply statistics and using data. For example, YouTube might be using, their software engineers are using data from watch time and click-through rate to suggest new videos to new users. So this definitely takes in a statistical element. However, depending on what area of statistics you're studying, this is a more feasible option than for others. So for example, where I go to school, you can major in a statistics field that focuses more on computation, where you get a lot more knowledge in computer science. So I think that is a route that would be a feasible opportunity for those students. However, if you are in those areas of statistics, I think this is a great career. For that, I'm going to put this in the great category. The next career is going to be an actuary, coming in at an average salary of $111,000 per year. So what an actuary does is they manage financial risk for insurance companies or governments, but ultimately they're using their background in statistics to collect data and assess future events. So they might be assessing the risk of something happening in the future, and for this reason, they're paid accordingly. So while being an actuary sounds like a great career, and it's originally what I went to school for, I think it sounds kind of on the more boring end of jobs. So for that reason alone, I'm just going to put this one in a good career category. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I think being an actuary can be a great career that also has great pay as well. And then finally, saving my favorite for last, that was going to be a data scientist, coming in at an average salary of $120,000 per year. So what a data scientist does is they're going to be using data sets and machine learning to find insights and conclusions that they can then present to their stakeholders and managers. The knowledge of statistics can be helpful in creating data sets. If you have a computational background, that definitely helps because you're going to be using a lot of different programming languages. And then you're also going to be developing models and forecasting into the future. So a lot of the knowledge that you're going to get in a statistics degree is going to come into being a data scientist, and you're paid very well accordingly. So I think this is going to be a god tier job for me. So maybe you're interested in a career in statistics or majoring in statistics. Check out my channel. There's a bunch of other videos on here about statistics. And if you're not sure where to start, watch this video next about whether or not a statistics major is worth it.